And it was interesting because in my brain, because I love JTR. Absolutely. I've heard it in music. I've heard it in movies. Love their sound signature. And I swore up and down in my brain, I'm like, yep, that's the JTRs. No, I don't like those as much. I like that. And it was the Contours. I really did not have an appreciation before this test that Dynaudio was even relatively for me. Like I would never own them.
Do you feel like you need to call Matt and apologize?
Maybe.
For dogging his feet. But they were more fun. They were more enjoyable.
Yeah.
I was surprised that I consistently preferred the Dynaudios. However, one thing I've learned.
All right, guys, we are back in the Obsessed Home Theater lab. As you can see, we got two sets of speakers here. We've got the Dynaudio Contour. What's the model
60i.
60i. So these are Rusty's personal speakers.
That's right.
And these are also Rusty's personal speakers. So he's on these, had these for years. When he moved here, he kind of bought these with the house.
Yep.
And so I'll be honest, I think there's certain things that I was wrong about that we'll talk about in this video. But we'd love to just share our experience in this room in a 2.1 system. We'll listen to a bunch of music, listen to a bunch of movie clips and different volumes, A/B switching without knowing what the other one was listening to. So Rusty, I'll let you start. What are some observations from this experiment test experience, I guess?
Yeah, so I've lived with these for years, love them, 212 RTs, have got a lot of time on these. These less so, in 6 months, 9 months that I've listened to them, both in theater settings, right? So I wanted to, but I've never been able to like side-by-side switch rapid A/B. I'm like, well, I got to get rid of some speakers because I need to free up funds to pay for the new theater build. And these are going, but before I got rid of them, I wanted to like do a direct comparison.
Yeah, never had that opportunity before.
No, the rapid switching and see how much different they really are. Now, just for price reference, these are $8,600 a pair, $12,000 a pair. Okay, so they're quite a bit different. So we just did music, and I was surprised that I consistently preferred the Dynaudios for music. However, one thing I've learned is we tried it both in this position and with them flip-flopped, inner and outer. I preferred the Dynaudios for music when they were in the outer position.
Yep.
Actually, let me start over. I preferred whichever speaker was on the outside.
Yeah, that's what happened. And it was interesting because in my brain, because I love JTR. Absolutely, I've heard it in music, I've heard it in movies, love their sound signature. And I swore up and down in my brain, I'm like, yep, that's the JTRs. No, I don't like those as much. I like that. And it was the Contours. And I was shocked. So I was wrong. Because when I first heard the Contours, I'm like, these sound like booty. I mean, they're just garbage. They're too laid back, and that was in your room.
Yeah. It's not a great room because it's like an open room, and the way they're positioned, they're up pretty close to the wall. So you're getting a lot of reflections there. And these are rear ported. So
this is a different room, different acoustics, but we also have different electronics as well.
Yeah.
You were running NAD. We're running a Marantz Cinema 30 here with some speaker power amplification, 400 watts. So feeding them a lot of juice. So I was wrong that the Dynaudios don't sound good. These actually sound really good for music.
They sound great.
I think we both enjoyed them.
And to Matt's point, he had talked about this like gentlemanly quality of being more coherent and more well blended together. And I actually hear that playing them side by side. Like they're a little smoother, a little more refined. But then when I play like more rock dynamic music, I think I preferred the JTRs. And then we played some movie clips too. And in both positions, and flip-flopped.
Yeah, so we tried them in this position. Original position was reverse, where the Contours were on the outside, JTRs were on the inside.
Yeah.
What did you find for that?
My opinion, I prefer the JTRs by far, regardless of position. It was a pretty, it was pretty drastic, but that depends on what seat you're in. So if you're in the center seat, it's a lot harder to pick a favorite.
There were a lot of times I was going, Rusty, it's a toss-up, and you're like, are you serious? There's an obvious difference. He was positioned just 3 feet over in the next seat. In the side seats, you can absolutely hear a massive difference between the sound signatures.
It is.
But when we were in the center, the lines began to kind of be blurred more.
Yeah, when you've got that perfect stereo image and everything's centered, it's challenging. It's not, I mean, you can tell a difference, but it's hard to have a lot of preference.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, well, they both sound amazing. So it's like, do I want good or good?
Right.
Or great or great?
Right.
When you're in the one seat over, it's like massively different.
Sure.
And that was when I, like JTR by far. I still, regardless of position for me or the speakers, I still prefer the JTRs because there's just a dynamic, more impactful quality that I don't know all the right audiophile terms, but they were more fun, they were more enjoyable.
Yeah.
But Dynaudios are like, especially if your application, if it's music, you can't go wrong.
Great choice, beautiful speaker.
And I used to, prior to today and right now,
I kind of dogged them.
Well, prior to now, I didn't think that it made that much difference between music and movies. Like, good speaker's a good speaker.
Yeah. And I've always even said that.
Yeah. So if you want something that's really attractive and fits in a living room aesthetic, I mean, that's an easy choice.
Yeah.
But if you want to save some money and have some fun, JTR.
Yeah. And I think part of it too is when we, at normal volumes, there were times that, especially for music, like, I like these better.
That's a good point.
When we started cranking them, it's not that these handled very well. I was very surprised. I thought they would just like fall apart, because you're talking about a soft dome tweeter. We were listening pretty significant volume, nothing ridiculous, but very like close to reference. And these had no problem playing with that, but they definitely sounded different the louder we got them.
Yeah.
Almost like these were kind of struggling versus these were like, bring it on. What else you got?
Yeah, they never slowed down. Yeah. And there's plenty of amplification. We had 400 watts a channel. And it's not that they were distorting or sounding bad. Yeah. It was like these.
But it changed. Yeah, it was something about it. It changed for me. Like these just kept going. Kind of like, I don't know, like an EV vehicle. When you hit the gas, it never slows down. It just continues to increase in speed.
That's a good analogy, yeah.
And these were like, okay, let me shift gears, for a second. So there was like some hesitation there.
So I guess I learned a few things today. One, where you're sitting matters.
Yes.
Where the speakers are positioned matters.
100%.
Like I've always known it mattered, but
I didn't know
matters,
it mattered that much.
It matters a lot.
Yeah.
And what type of content you're listening to matters. So like 3 myths busted. 3 myths busted.
Yeah. So here's, when you start doing blind A/B testing, the goal is to remove as much bias as possible. I can say that I have a bias to JTR because I own JTR. I can say that, I have a bias towards whatever, but when you don't know what you're switching between, sometimes it makes it a little bit more challenging. And I don't know, maybe some things are more similar than they are different.
So what's your biggest takeaway from today?
So again, I mean, biggest takeaway, both these are fantastic speakers.
Yeah.
I really did not have an appreciation before this test that Dynaudio was even relatively for me. Like I would never own them.
Do you feel like you need to call Matt and apologize?
Maybe.
For dogging his speak?
These are really fantastic speakers. I've really enjoyed my time with them.
Yeah.
The other question is, okay, application. Is this going in a living room? Many of you probably aren't going to put this in a living room, but these are gorgeous.
Yeah. And these happen to be for sale. If you want a good deal, I need to get rid of them. Yeah. I have so many speakers. I've got a storage unit I'm keeping just so I can have speakers to test.
Yeah.
We need to start testing so I can start selling because I need to free that space up.
Yeah, he already knows what he's building. He's putting all JTR 215 RMs.
I need to downsize. I've got too much personal inventory.
Yeah.
So.
And like I said, both of these are phenomenal speakers. It's one of those things where, kind of like going back to the projectors, if you're looking at one projector, it's beautiful, looks great. Then you put it right next to something else and you're like, oh, now I'm seeing some differences. Like this one has, you know, deeper black levels, and you wouldn't have noticed it. So, yeah, this has been interesting, quite eye-opening, and
a little humbling too.
It is, and I'm learning through this process. We're learning. You know, we don't have a system figured out. We're figuring out what does this look like, and hopefully we're bringing some value, because most of you don't have the ability to do something like this. So we want to learn, and whatever we learn, we want to pass on to you. But here's a big one. If you don't like the way your speakers sound, before you spend more money buying new ones, at least move them in your room. Try pushing them out further, tow them in a little bit, pull them out away from the wall. Because I believe now, after seeing this and hearing this, speaker placement absolutely matters big time in your room.
It does.
So at least play with that. That could save you a ton of money. You know, instead of having to just ditch the speakers and go, or maybe even upgrade. You know, same thing your center channel. Some of you guys don't need a better center channel. You just need to fix some acoustics in your room because your center channel isn't performing to its best ability because the room acoustics are interfering with that. So placement matters. That's a big takeaway for me. I didn't expect that as much of a, I didn't expect to make that drastic of a difference.
Yeah. And if you want some 212 RTs, we have a bunch of these in stock right now. Brand new, ready to ship.
Yeah, 100%, man. We've got a bunch in stock. So we got Kalos in stock. We're going to be doing some videos on that. I want to hear those. Derek wants to hear those. Rusty wants to hear them. Eventually, I want to put 5 of them in here. When we get the new subwoofers, the 12 sub, I want to put that in here. I haven't heard a full JTR Kalos system yet. I'm excited to hear that and see what it sounds like. So we're just going to be bringing more videos like this, but we just wanted to get some real unedited, unscripted. This is just what we experienced over the past, 2 hours, moving stuff around, listening, calibrating. Both of these were level matched. We made sure of that because typically if one speaker's louder than the other, you're going to prefer that. So we made sure that they were level matched, connected to the same gear, and we moved them in different positions. And sometimes our opinion changed versus if it was here or if it was here. So speaker placement matters. Well, guys, I don't know if there's a perfect wrap up to that, but let me know in the comments. What are your thoughts on this? What would you like to see? And hopefully we can make that happen. Hope you guys have an incredible week. God bless. Catch you in the next video.